Hi, my name is Phil Goebel, and this is sort of my explanation as to why there is no sound in my four parts of my secret writing prompt for week one. In all honesty, I have had the hardest time so far with this course. Um, I know part of this has had to do with me being sick and hospitalized and all that stuff, but I don't really want to use that as an excuse. The other part is, you know, trying to get caught up with this class while working on my other class, which was Education 709. Um, I have had the hardest time getting past week one in this course. I don't understand it, but anyway, so I finally just said, you know what, I'm gonna stay up until I get this done. And I recorded 4 videos. I'm in the process of uploading them. I go back into YouTube and I start trying to test them and realize that the volume's not working. It's just one thing after another. So anyway, I started doing some research as to why the volume wouldn't work. Just to backtrack a little bit, my computer a week ago the startup disk was full. So I was trying to delete files and move files over to my external hard drive and to Google Drive and all that stuff to free up space on my computer, but it wouldn't work. Went to Apple, ended up having to reformat my entire computer, and by reformatting it, I lost a lot of the settings that I had on here. It's been so long ago that I even said it that I couldn't remember what they were. Well, anyway, of course, I'm in the process of working on my video, or my group of 4 videos, because I've been having a hard time on YouTube recording and uploading more than 15 minutes for whatever reason at a time. Um, I changed my settings in YouTube, but it still was taking forever to upload it. You can see here, this video is still taking 19 minutes, and that's only 14 and a half minutes worth of stuff. But anyway, to kind of show you what I've realized, I took screenshots. The first one is right here. When I went to hit record, I started, but I didn't press on this little triangle here. When you press on the triangle, it comes down, and this none was selected instead of the built-in microphone. So, of course, I record myself talking about the entire thing, all 4 videos, an hour long, and I didn't put the microphone in. So what I've decided to do, just for the sake of time and my sanity, is I'm going to go through and paraphrase roughly what I did inside of these videos. I hope you can trust me that I did in fact try to record myself, but this is my attempt to kind of make good on that. I'm gonna try to spread it out as long as I can, but keep it within that 15-minute mark maybe. But anyway, so right here I'm explaining. I put together a document to help me to keep notes for the writing prompt itself, focusing on new and creative ideas. As I was going through, I was talking about the 3 different types of teachers that the administrator was trying to get us to focus on in this hypothetical situation. So when I was coming up with my idea, I decided that my administrator was getting ready to roll out new iPads and trying to encourage teachers to to use them effectively, or find ways to use them effectively. So as I was going through here, I started putting together tabs, and you can see Education 707. and I was having a little trouble with the internet right there, but then I found a few websites that I liked, and I took some information from those websites and actually physically copied it onto my notes page. Okay, so as I'm working through with my notes, there are key things that I'm thinking about. Again, moving back to the topic itself, which was all about coming up with new and innovative ideas for, um, to try to encourage teachers to use technology, and that was sort of the difficult part of what I was trying to do. Okay, so I went through, and my first video was basically all about the first source that I found. Okay. Alright, so then I came to my second video, and I started, I got through that. I copied a few more important quotes that I liked and put those directly into my document. Then I started doing a little bit more research, looking at other sources, copying them to my folder, and then trying to find things that I thought would be interesting. When thinking about the people in my district and the example. When I think about veteran teachers that have been there for over 20 years, and when I think about new teachers who don't necessarily use technology the right way and they kind of use it more for games, or substitute teachers, I know, after teaching for 10 years, I've got specific people in mind that I could think of. So I'm trying to gear a presentation toward those specific people, and try to make it as interesting as possible, as persuasive as possible. So I started thinking about YouTube videos. What could I do differently with this presentation to help to persuade these types of people that I was talking about. In my third one, I actually dove in and started looking at specific YouTube videos. I found a lot of videos that were obvious. It was obvious that they were actually homework assignments, probably for other master's courses. This video right here was probably one of the better ones that I found. It showed a teacher, it interviewed her, it showed students interacting with each other, and I started thinking to myself that this is the type of video that you want to show. You want to have interaction with students and get feedback from them. So from this research, I started copying down specific YouTube videos, and trying to cite those so that I'd remember which sources I used in my research. And then in my fourth video, I took the information that I had found in my various websites and YouTube videos and started thinking about how I wanted to incorporate that into my actual document that I was preparing. So again, I wanted to focus on new creative ideas to persuade these groups. All right, how can I persuade them? So I'm thinking about a presentation that I'm putting on. My administrators asked me to put it on. I want it to be as fun and as interesting and motivating as I possibly can. And the best way that I can think of is to try to incorporate into my presentation people that they know, people they respect, kids that they might see around the hallway, ask them questions about technology, what they do for fun, how they use it for educational purposes, incorporate some jokes, maybe even interview kids from various age levels, K through 12, trying to get their take on it. But I also thought it was very important to get the administrators involved in this process, because in order for teachers to buy into it, I think they need to know that the administrators are fully committed to helping them to being successful with technology. And so basically I went through and came up with, I've sort of mapped out a list of um, what I thought that would be good for this process. YouTube videos and interviews, and I thought defining educational technology with a kindergartner, defining that, recording a kindergartner defining that, thought that could be kind of a fun attention getter, especially at a high school level. There's this common misconception that elementary kids don't need technology yet, or they're not ready for technology yet, but the fact of the matter is, like one of the presentations that we watched earlier, most of the kids come into kindergarten already knowing how to use smartphones and tablets and computers. So technology is not the problem. Um, so once we figure that out, then the different things that we can learn to use with that technology can only help to enhance our educational processes. But anyway, so coming up with interesting ways to incorporate that into the presentation. But again, I thought it was very important to get the administrators buy into it. And what it comes down to is, a lot of times with presentations, professional development, at least what I have experienced, the administrator will stand up in front, they'll talk about the new technology, or they'll have somebody talk about the new technology, and then they'll say, you can use it or not use it. I don't know about most educators, but for me, I am extremely busy coaching and teaching, and if someone tells me that I can use it or not use it, if it takes a lot of time to do it, a lot of times I have the best of intentions, but then I never end up getting back to it. So it's important for the administrator to say, hey, we are doing this, and this is where I expect you to be right now, and then giving us clear and concise goals to try to achieve, and then but also how they plan to evaluate and help to teach along the way to help us to achieve the goals of incorporating this different technology. I think it's important for grade levels or subjects to be able to choose what types of technology they want to integrate and how they want to do it, but it should be mandatory. If they're going to do it, they should make it mandatory for all teachers and tie it in with their evaluation in some way. I've found that that's one of the best ways to motivate all teachers. Everybody wants to do a good job. Everyone wants, to be the best they can be, and the only way for us to find that out is through our evaluation process in the educational world. So we all want to do well on our evaluations, so we all work really hard to do well on those. And if we tied technology into our evaluations, I think that would help teachers buy into it a little bit more, especially if the administrators are committed. So anyway, I went through and talked about that a lot more over the course of the last hour. But hopefully this quick little makeup session helps you to understand the research that I did over the course of the last 4 videos that I created. And then I used that information to help to create this document. Obviously this isn't finished. This is a kind of work in progress, but I will attach the document itself to the thread, the link that you provided on our website. So anyway, hope this works, and if you would prefer me to go through and re-record all 4 of those, I can definitely do that. But I thought I would try this first because I just need to get past this first week so that I can move on and hopefully get this course completed by Labor Day. So anyway, thanks again for everything, and please let me know if there's anything else that you would like me to do to enhance this process.